Alright, so in this video what I'm going to do is show you how to make the maximum and minimum slope lines for your graph. I'm starting with a graph that's already half done, that I took from one of the labs from my previous year's students, but I mean you can see that it works quite well except for this point, which may be an outlier, maybe the error was just underestimated. We don't know, but we don't really care. All we're going to do is just try to fit in the maximum and minimum slope lines. Now, before we do this, be aware that this year you're not required to fit maximum and minimum slope lines to your graph. So for example, something else that you can do is just right click on this in linear fit, go to linear fit options and click on show uncertainty. And then you can see that there's an uncertainty in the slope and uncertainty in the y-intercept. This is perfectly acceptable to use as the uncertainty in your slope. So you don't have to find the maximum and minimum slope lines. If you want to, you can still do this. Otherwise, you can just use this value and it's perfectly accepted. This is how we do it in physics, actually. Nobody actually goes and draws two more lines. That's preposterous. But anyway, this used to be required by the IB, and we're still gonna learn it just in case somebody else wants to learn to do this. Now, in order to draw these two lines, what we need to go is we go to here, curve fit, we click on it, then we need to choose that we want the equation of a line, and we go to the manual fit. Now, the problem with this is that we're going to have to choose a slope. If the slope that you choose is completely off compared to this one, the one that you were actually fitting, then you're not going to be able to see the thing in your graph. So what I recommend is to choose a slope that's similar to the one over here. So in this case, 201 I think should do it. Oops. See, and now you can see it in your graph. Okay, so now I press OK, and that made my manual fit, which I'm going to move so that I can see it. Now what I need to do is edit the options for this. So I'm going to right click here, linear fit options, and I'm going to click on enable line drag. Click OK, and then you see that you have these points now where you can move this around. First, I'm going to find the maximum slope line. So the maximum slope goes from the bottom of the first point. So this point, I don't care about any other points, just the first point at the very bottom, and goes to the top of the very last point. So I drag this up here, and now let's see, goes from the bottom to the top. Cool, I'm happy. So that's the maximum slope that you can have. And as you can see, the difference here is way more than 3.8, which is the error that this calculates. And that's because this method that we're using of estimating the error is probably not the best you can use and severely overestimates your error. But sometimes you want that to happen, especially with the kinds of precisions that we have in our experiments. Okay, now I'm going to do the next line, and I'm going to get the line of minimum slope. So again, curve fit, manual. This is already fine. I changed the slope to something that's similar to the one that I have. Remember that you can just read it off here. Okay. And then again, I move this somewhere else so that I can see it. Linear fit options. And then I click on enable line drag. And then I just need to drag this around. So first thing, this starts from the top of the first point and goes to the bottom. Did I choose the right one? Oh, I did not choose the right one. Okay, let me see. So this one goes from the top to the bottom. There you go. And this one goes from the bottom to the top. It's really easy to see whether you chose the right one. If they don't cross, it means you did something wrong. So please go ahead and correct it. Okay, so now things look the way they should. And we have three lines, one in the middle where I have my values with my error and everything. And I have two more showing me the minimum and maximum slope. And as you can see, if I look at these values here, the error is around 5, whereas here the error is around 4. So quite a bit more error. Not a lot more, but significantly more. That's pretty much it. Now you can use this to start drawing your conclusions and calculate whatever values that it is that you were going for in your experiment. Thank you.